Happy Tuesday!
My name's Nick.
And my name is Ullen.
And welcome
into the dungeon. You start making your way into the wilds, into the overgrowth, and after a while you're in far enough that you feel that if you start making your way south you won't be spotted by the people at the barricade. But you have entered a bit of a wooded area. You can see past it, you can see that there's more clearings ahead. But as you're walking down, you reach one of the clearings.
And at the point we get to a clearing, before moving into it and searching for the next cover, we'd want to do that stealthily.
Okay, so you want to stealth into the clearing. Okay, roll for stealth for you and for Wilbur. So as you quietly make your way, or try to at least, into the clearing, and suddenly you hear a crack of wood and a tumble behind you. Arfharim! I've fallen down!
Keep quiet, Wilbur! What on earth are you doing? Get up! It'll be the death of us.
From a distance, you start hearing voices or mumblings. You can't quite tell what they're saying or what they are.
Are we close enough to the sparse wood that we were in a second ago?
Yeah, you were just about to exit it. When Wilbur tumbled.
Wilbur. All right, so on that note then, hearing those mumblings.
Change of plans, Wilbur. Best we take cover.
Yes, Arfharim. So you're hiding?
Yeah, we'd like to try and hide amongst the foliage. Find somewhere that looks safe and keep an eye out. So kind of two things we want to do. I want to hide and then from our hiding spot, see if I can see anybody approaching.
So you and Wilbur make it back into the overgrowth, into the little wooded area, hide behind the trees. After a while, you start hearing footsteps coming towards you. You're laying low?
Yes.
The footsteps stop for a while. You suddenly hear a whoosh pass by you, and you're backed up into a tree, facing away from the clearing, and you see this spear impale itself in a tree in front of you.
Wilbur, are you alright?
Yes, Arfharim.
Follow my lead.
Okay.
I stand up with my hands held up, and still holding my staff.
We mean no harm. Surely you would not attack an old grandpa and his grandson.
You say that out loud?
Yeah.
And are you still behind the trees? Or you've come out into the opening?
I'm sort of peeking my head around the tree with my hands held up.
So you're looking south out of the woods?
Yeah.
So as you peek out, you see a towering man, maybe in his late 60s, although he still carries the build of a warrior in his prime. He has broad shoulders, a barrel chest, and arms that look like they could wrestle a bear. Although his hair has turned a distinguished silver, he wears it in a wild and kept mane. His thick mustache is impeccably groomed and covers his mouth. His armor is battered but well kept, adorned with mismatched trinkets, feathers, broken arrowheads, and even a small metal spoon. Beside him, you can see a mysterious figure clad in a dark flowing hooded garment that seems to shift and ripple even in still air. The figure wears a sleek, featureless mask of polished black metal, obscuring their face entirely, save for their piercing hawk-like eyes. They suddenly look at you, and the towering man yells, "An old grandpa! I swear I saw a boar dobbing! The biggest one I've ever seen! Tonight, dobbing, we dine like the gods!" And you notice the person beside him just look at him, nods and looks away towards you. They start stepping closer. "Old man!
Yes?
Have you seen a boar here?"
Can I do a cursory check, see if in the area that I'm in there's hoof marks, or do they have hooves? Trotter marks, perhaps?
Roll for survival, yeah.
That's a total of 18, starting strong. How far away are they from me at this point?
They're around 20 feet from you. There aren't really any boar tracks here that you can tell.
Arfharim, is it safe? I'm not sure yet. Well, Egbert, remember, you're Egbert? Yes. And I'm Yeros. Yes, Yeros. Don't worry, I've got your back.
And Wilbur steps out.
Can I do an insight check on Dobbin, or Bobbin, or whatever his name was?
Dobbin is the one with the mask, yeah.
I want to do an insight on the old man that was talking to me.
Okay, you don't know their name yet.
Okay. So on him, I want to do an insight and see if I get a sense that he's being truthful about seeing a boar, or if this is simply a tactic to close in on me and Wilbur.
Okay, roll an insight.
Oh, yeah, baby. It's a total of 19.
Nice. Well, yes, you can tell that he really feels that he saw a boar. He's convinced, or he looks it at least, that he did see a boar. And funnily enough, as Wilbur steps out, the old guy's eyes widen, and he shouts, "There it is, Dobbing! The boar of legend! A new challenge has presented itself to the warriors of divine supremacy, the trial of domination. Come, Dobbing, help me wrestle this boar!" And as he says that, he starts sprinting towards your direction.
Have you lost your mind?
Roll for initiative.
What boar?
He says nothing, he's just sprinting.
God, we've actually made a character more... I'm dumbfounded here.
More what? Dumber than...
More fish than Wilbur. I'm rolling for Wilbur as well, yes?
Yes. I guess that's a good roll on your behalf.
Well. Arfharim, first natural 20 of the campaign.
Ooh. So that's a total of...
22.
Nice.
And Wilbur, good old Wilbur Finch, or Egbert as he is now known, is a total of 9.
Very good. I'll roll for your 2 new friends here. Okay, so you go first.
Do I get the sensation that Wilbur is in genuine danger here?
You're gonna have to roll an insight to see what he's trying to do, or try to get an idea of what he's attempting. I won't say that would count as your turn, because it would be a quick kind of thing that you're trying to assess, but you'll have to roll an insight check.
Okay. It's a total of 15.
Okay. You can tell that he doesn't have an look of evil intent on his face, more of a childish grin. He seems to be running in glee towards your direction. Also, you notice that he does have several weapons. One is on his back, a long sword, but he hasn't even attempted to reach for it as of yet. He's around 15 feet away from you now, and he's beginning to close in.
I'm going to hold my action, and I'm going to move 15 feet away from Wilbur, and these sparks of electricity are starting to form at my fingertips.
Okay.
If I see that he's going to attack Wilbur, by drawing a weapon or by causing him physical harm, I'm attacking Wilbur's assailant.
Okay.
As I'm taking up that position, and the wisps of electricity are coming off my hands, I shout out to this old man running towards Wilbur.
What on earth has got into you? What do you mean, a boar? Please do not make me hurt you.
Okay. As you say and do that, the one you imagine is called Dobbing, because the old man was referring to the other person as Dobbing, turns their head towards you and starts making their way in your direction. They reach right up to you and draw a dagger up to your neck. They don't say a word, but they nod.
Well, it's not my turn, so I can't really do anything, can I?
No. And that's their turn. They don't actually attack you. So it's over to the old man, and he rushes to Wilbur. As he sprints and gets up to him, he jumps in the air, and with both hands extended in a big wide stance, he comes crashing onto Wilbur and grapples him. So you need to roll a dexterity or strength check, and you need to beat the person's DC, which is 8 plus its strength modifier plus proficiency. So roll to see if Wilbur avoids the grapple.
Come on, Willie. Oh, not too bad. It's a total of 15.
Very good. So Wilbur's assailant falls squarely on him, and they both fall back. They struggle around a bit, and this guy is trying to grab Wilbur by any means. But Wilbur is oddly agile, and he manages to swat his attempts away with ease. Wilbur positions himself in front of the old guy, thinking of what to do next, and it's his turn now.
What are you doing? We haven't seen no bows. You want to wrestle? I'll wrestle you.
Okay, so on that note, given that that's what's going through Wilbur's mind, he's going to try and grapple this old man as well.
Okay, the same. So the guy has to roll a strength or dexterity save, and he has to beat Wilbur's DC.
It's going to be the 12.
Okay, Wilbur momentarily squats and then pushes up and forwards as he grabs the guy under the armpits, begins to pull him towards him, but the guy quickly turns around, and behind him, he is unable to grapple him.
Whoa! We have a live one here.
It's over to Arfharim. You were holding your turn, and you decided not to...
Yeah, he wasn't harmed, so that was a trigger point.
Okay, so it's your turn now. Remember, the other person is currently holding the blade up to your throat.
I mean, Arfharim's thinking that perhaps, although the older man wasn't evil, the fact that this guy's got a dagger to my throat suggests that perhaps he is, and that the old man is his buffoon. Could do something wild here.
What are you up to?
We're but mere travelers. Please do not harm us. I can offer you this wonderful book. I see you appear to be a mysterious man. This mysterious book may intrigue you.
And I reach into the vouch pouch and pull out one of Timothy's books and place it in front of him. You know, his dagger's out in my throat, and I'm sort of offering this book as a peace offering.
Look at the first pages. It's magnificent, marvelous. Could even be worth a pretty penny. I'm told they may even be magic.
I'm trying to convince him here to open the book.
Okay, so roll a persuasion check. That would be your action this time.
It's a total of 17.
But you're not calling Timothy out or anything.
I'm not calling him out, but I am remembering that if anybody opens the book and reads any part of it, he's compelled to kill them.
Okay. The person looks at you. You can see their intense eyes shift from your eyes down to the book. They grab the book, but they keep the dagger on your throat. They nod again, and it's their turn. But they don't move. They stay there, dagger on your throat, book in hand.
He's not opening the book?
No.
Motherfucker.
As you keep looking at the guy that has a dagger to your throat, you suddenly hear the old man shout again, "I've got you this time, piggy!" as he attempts to grapple Wilbur from the back. Roll to see if he's grappled.
Come on, Wilbur. Get in, Wilbur! Natural 20.
Oof, okay.
He's making up for all those trips down the stairs.
So as the guy goes to grab him from the back, Wilbur again, quite nimbly to your surprise, goes down to the ground in a split. The guy misses completely and trips over Wilbur, falling face first in front of him. It's now Wilbur's turn to grapple, if he wishes to. And if he does, I'd say that the old man rolls with disadvantage.
Wilbur, seeing this opportunity, is going to leave his rotund, heavy-set frame fall swiftly on him. Kind of like a... Remember Rikishi from WWF? Back when we were kids?
Yeah, I remember.
He's going to let his full weight sort of fall down on him, butt first,
Ooh.
on his back,
Okay.
and try and pin him down.
Poor guy. Alright, so he's gonna roll to try and not be grappled, but it's with a disadvantage. So Wilbur throws his weight completely on this old guy. The guy lets out a pant, an audible pant.
Piggy! Get off me!
And he's pinned down.
They call me Mr. Pig!
You see the guy have a sudden flash of realization across his face. His eyes kind of squint as he's looking at Wilbur, sitting on him.
Hold on! You're not a pig at all! Get off me, fat man! I'm sorry.
We're out of initiative right now. Let's say the person with the dagger removes the dagger from your neck, sheaves it.
I hold my hand back out for the book and sort of beckon.
They look at it curiously and are about to open.
I want to snatch it out of his hands.
Okay, they kind of let you. It's not their property. You get the feeling that they don't struggle. So you take the book back,
What is wrong with your friend? Why does he think that my grandson is a boar?
They nod at you, and they turn towards the old man and start walking in their direction.
Dobbin! Help me get up! I am Boggin the Indomitable! I can't believe I lost this trial. We'll have to do 200 press-ups when we go back to camp.
What is Wilbur doing?
I'd say Wilbur's probably looking a bit stunned at the moment. He's let go of his arms, if he was grappling him, but he's still kind of sat there,
Okay.
a bit cautious and confused, even for Wilbur.
Egbert!
Yes, Grumpy.
On your feet! Our friends seem to have made a mistake.
Okay.
So Wilbur gets up, and the old man, Bogging, now is called Bogging, gets up as well, dusts himself off, and pats Wilbur on the back.
You have some fight in you, kid!
Is the other sort of masked individual, has he got his back to Arfharim at the moment?
Yes, they've walked towards Bogging and is in between Bogging and yourself. They are now 5 feet away from Bogging, and they are looking at Wilbur and Bogging's interaction. They're not intervening or anything, just standing there.
I want to do an insight check. I want to see if he's either planning to do an attack, like is he walking towards him aggressively, or if I get an insight that perhaps he's controlling this buffoon.
Okay, roll for insight. What is it exactly you're insighting then? If they are controlling the buffoon or if they are trying to attack?
The dagger he sheathed once he took it from my neck.
Yeah.
I want to try and determine whether I get a sense that he's perhaps exerting some sort of mind control over this brute.
Okay.
It's a big old 23.
Nice rolls. You can't see them do any kind of motions with their hands like they were casting a spell or anything like that.
And he's not chanting anything.
Not chanting anything, not even speak. You haven't heard them speak in this whole interaction. Yeah, more like just staying 5 feet away from the whole altercation between Wilbur and Bogging, not really getting involved, just standing there beside Bogging, waiting for him to get up and get going. As you've been looking, Bogging then turns towards you.
Old man! Yes? You have quite a keen-spirited grandchild here, I'd say. Yes, well... Quite the fighter. Perhaps he has the spirit of a boar, and that is what you saw. Well, I saw his rotund body, I'd say, and that's what I thought was the pig. May I ask you a question, Boggin? Yes, you may. Is your camp that barricaded, abandoned hut down the road? No, we've camped a bit further south into the wilds. I mean, you're more than welcome to join for a bit of pig. We are indeed hunting boar. That's going to be our meal tonight. Would you know who happen to be the inhabitants of that? The cabin? Yes, the cabin. No, we stay away from the main road usually. We're doing trials, you see. We are the warriors of divine supremacy. We travel the land in search of the most intriguing trials. We've done many. Today, just now, although I failed it, it was a trial of domination.
Have I heard of these warriors of divine excellence?
Never in your life, no.
What time is it at this point? Is it worth, Arfharim's trying to establish whether it's worth making camp for the night with these travelers, or whether it's perhaps wiser to press on?
It's probably coming around 5 in the afternoon. You'd probably have to start setting up camp soonish and also start thinking of what you're going to have for dinner and all that kind of stuff.
Well, boar sounds delicious. And if you know the land around this area, it'd be good to share a tale or two and eat pig, as you call it. If you will have us, of course. Yes, it'd be my pleasure, having such a warrior as your grandchild here accompany us today. Do you care to join us on the hunt for the boar? Well, an old man like myself is not much of a hunter. Well, it's the trial of the apex predator. Is it not getting a little late, though? Late for what? Well, the sun will be setting into the Sea of Swords soon enough. We need to eat, damn it. Didn't you say you had a pig? No, we are hunting it. When we hunt it, we will have it. Worry not, old man, for I know where to find them. They may be elusive, but this is the trial of the apex predator, and I will dine pig tonight. If you do not want to join us, we shall not press you. Head on over to the camp. It's a bit further south from here, you'll see it. It's in a clearing similar to this one. All my aching bones.
I start leaning on my staff as if I'm exhausted and old and weary.
If you'd be so kind, yes, we'll wait for you there.
Brilliant! Not to worry at all. No. We'll take an hour at most. Do not worry. Make yourself at home at our camp.
Best of luck on your trial of domination.
No. The trial of domination has been failed. This is the trial of the apex predator.
Well, we'll head to your camp and we'll stick around.
Very well. And with that, they leave towards the east of this forest. Whilst I imagine you start setting south.
Yeah.
And as you make your way, literally just, you follow their orders down south. You don't really break from that direction. After a while, you find the camp. It's very basic. There's a bit of a small shelter. More of a lie-to kind of thing. Kind of a tarp thrown over some sticks. And there's a fire roaring in the middle. And 2 sleeping bags just there on the ground around the fire. It seems that they are not people to stick around for long. They're just camping at the moment, and they'll probably be moving on in the morning. So
Have they left anything else there other than the sleeping bags?
Not really, no. They were carrying most of the wares and the luggage or whatever they had, the swords. They're mostly carrying everything.
Wilbur! Oh, Egbert!
Yes, Arfharim.
Remember? Egbert!
I'll just call you Grumpy. I forget your name. It's too complicated.
Good, Grumpy is fine.
Okay.
Remember to respond to me when I call you Egbert. If they ask your name, you are Egbert.
Very well. I'm glad we didn't go hunting for boars. I like animals. I don't eat animals.
Is Wilbur vegetarian?
Yeah.
But he was cooking sausages and...
Yeah, because that's what Obin liked. And he didn't have the heart to tell him not to.
What on earth is he going to eat in the wilds?
Cheese and tack is what he brings out and starts nibbling at the hard tack.
When you're done with your hot tack, please be a dear grandson and set up our tent.
Okay.
And Arfharim starts writing in his memoirs that he was working on at Obin's house. You know, he starts recording the incident with his new friend Timothy. He writes his worries and fears for his master Obin. And as he gets towards the end of his writing, he starts recording this strange encounter with Dobbin and Boggin as he breaks a wry smile and lets out a chuckle.
What a day, Wilbur.
Yeah, I don't know what got into that old man. He's rather strong. But I'm stronger, Arfharim. Grumpy.
I saw. Quite impressive. Shame the captain of the guard wasn't here to see it. I think once we're in a safe place, you shall now be known as Wilbur Finch.
I like it. Oh, anyway, I'm full with my cheese already. Shall I start making the tent?
Yes. I don't think we should be sleeping outside.
No, it's cold at night.
So Wilbur hobbles off and begins to mount the tent, whilst you stay there, beside the warmth of the fire. Surely enough, after about an hour and a bit, before you see them, you hear Boggin from afar.
I'm back!
And I've got food! And he comes into sight now, from behind some trees, carrying a bow, like a fireman carry. He's holding its feet with each of his hands, and he has it thrown over his shoulders. It's a big one too. Not as big as your grandchild over there, but it'll fill us up tonight.
I must congratulate you on passing your challenge of the Apex. Or Apex Hunter.
Oh, Apex Predator, yes. Thank you very much.
Quite the skill you have.
We both did, Dobbin and I. Yes, we are quite skilled warriors.
Your friend very quiet, isn't he?
Yes, well, she keeps to herself. But she's quite the fighter. Don't let her timid nature fool you. She moves in darkness. She's stealthy like a fox. Yes, quite intimidating. And you just see Dobbin look at Boggin. You almost see her give off a sigh, and she starts walking away towards the fire and sits opposite you. So yes, I'll start cooking this, and we can have a dinner. And he goes off to the fire. You can see that the boar has already been cleaned up, gutted and all that. And he starts kind of skewering parts of the meat with some sticks that he was carrying too, and starts putting them onto the fire. You can hear the sizzle of the pig as it cooks. The smell is rather enticing.
Meal fit for a warrior. Tell me, Boggin.
Yes.
Tell me more of the warriors of divine supremacy of...
Oh, yes.
They're not people that I've heard of.
No. Well, we are a legendary group, but perhaps you haven't heard of us yet. You have now, of course. What is your name, by the way? I don't think I caught it.
My name is Yenros.
Yenros, very nice name. Well, we are a band, me and Dobbing here, of adventurers, of warriors, of divine supremacy. We travel the land. We conquer trials. As I told you, we do many.
I have a trial that perhaps you could help us conquer.
Tell me.
Fine warrior like yourself. I surely know a way around that barricade. I feel there is nothing good to come of just marching through it. They seem to be wearing uniforms of the City Watch, but I'm no fool. There are no City Watch of Waterdeep.
A barricade, you say? On the road?
Yes.
Well, as I said, we stay clear of the road. We like living in the wilds. That's where the best trials are. But I imagine you could just continue through the wilds and pass by the barricade itself.
Oh, that is my intention. But unlike you, I'm no magnificent warrior. I do not know the wilds well.
Oh, I see.
Do you know a safe path past it?
Well, all across this wooded area, it's quite safe. No predators, per se. You'll find boar. Be careful of those. They can't charge. But there's no wolves, no bears at all you need to worry about right now. It'll be a safe and easy trip. Just time it and plan it accordingly so that when you pop out back onto the road, if that's your fancy, you do not pop out on the barricade itself.
Wise words, wise words.
Yes.
So where exactly is you from? Where is your...
I belong to the wilds now, friend. Yes.
But before the wilds?
Before the wilds, a long time ago, I have no real recollection of my past. I kind of live in the present. Yes, I live for the trials. Have I told you about the trial of the colossal feast?
Oh, no, but...
What we're having now pales in comparison to that trial. Oh, yes. We had to consume an entire grand feast meant for a royal court. I'll have you know.
And who adjudicates these trials? Who?
Well,
Is there any point to them? Do you get a medallion or a recognition?
our power increases. We get stronger. I mean, a true warrior must fuel the fires of battle.
I take a glance at Wilbur, and then at Boggin again.
Wilbur, you see, is at the tent. He doesn't really want to get close to the fire right now. Yes. Dobbin, what about the trial of unbreakable resolve? Do you remember that one? Dobbin looks at Boggin and nods. Soft nod, kind of an understanding nod. Yes, of course. We had to stand atop a cliffside in the middle of a raging storm. We didn't flinch, not even at the lightning. We won that one. We stayed all night. But anyway, I wish not to bore you with my trials and my heroics, no. I think the boar is ready. If you would do the honors of having the first bite, tell me what you think. Oh yes, this can be the trial of the bountiful provider. I am providing food for you, sir. If it's good, I have passed.
I take a bite.
Well, what do you think?
Could do with a little salt and pepper, but it's nice.
Damn it! Salt and pepper. Oh, I need to get that.
Well, a little difficult if you haven't got it on you, but it's a tasty boar, very gamey.
We have not passed this one, Dobbin. Worry not.
No,
There'll be more.
Considering the resources you have at your disposal, I would say you have passed.
We need not pity, old man. If we pass, we pass. Clearly we haven't. It's okay. There'll be more trials.
It's no pity, it's...
Actually,
I go in for a second bite. I'm trying to convince him, like, this is delicious.
he stopped looking at you.
best boar I've ever had.
You feel he's kind of shifted his attention to something else entirely now. He's not even paying attention to the boar anymore. He's actually dropped the stick he was chewing at and is looking at Wilbur intensely. Young man!
Are you talking to me?
Yes. I have seen how you fight. and I can see you carry a rather big weapon with you. Come, join me in a trial. The trial of the Eternal Blade.
Morgan, I must interject here.
Sorry?
We are on a long trip I cannot risk. My grandson here getting injured.
Worry not.
He's not a warrior.
Oh, you sell him short. He is a fine warrior indeed. A fine warrior in the making. I can sense it. I can see it in his eyes. Follow me, young man.
Egbert, do not follow him. Morgan.
Grumpy, I want to do the trial.
No, Egbert. We have a long day's march and we may be attacked on the road. We must preserve our muscle.
More reason to undergo said trial.
Grumpy, please.
I'm chomping now like a leg or something with the bow, like doing my best. This is amazing. Trying to get his focus back on the bow and persuade him to not go ahead with this trial.
Roll a persuasion check.
Persuasion is my highest skill, so I'm hoping here for a good one. Don't let me down now. Total of 11.
Yeah, you see he's already lost interest in the last trial, and this is his new obsession. Old man, we won't even leave from your side.
I must insist that you do not harm my grandson. He's all I have left, you know. We have a long trip ahead of us.
You see Wilbur stand up,
Grumpy, I'm a big boy now. I want to do the trial.
and he stamps his foot. I'm gonna ask you to say one more thing to Wilbur to try and dissuade him from going, and then I'm gonna do a contested roll, because Wilbur is trying to convince you to let him go.
Egbert, we have only but begun our journey. Look at the size of this man. He is a ferocious warrior of the divine supremacy.
I'm trying to play here to Boggin's ego.
Oh yes.
You cannot face off against such a magnificent beast of a warrior. Look at the bow and the bounty he has brought us.
Hold on, old man. I'm not going to fight him. Is that what you thought?
Well, would you call it a challenge of the Eternal Blade or whatever it was? I thought you wanted to fight each other.
No. He's not at my level yet. One thing is wrestling for fun, and another thing is sword fighting.
What is this challenge of the Eternal Blade then?
We wield our long swords. We strike any immovable object we see.
Oh,
A
that's,
boulder,
that's fine.
a tree.
Egbert, go knock yourself out.
Brilliant!
Not literally, Egbert.
Thank you, Grumpy.
And he runs up to you and hugs you.
Yes,
Sort of pat him on the head, and at the same time trying to push him away.
Oh, I can't wait.
And he unsheathes his longsword. You see them walk off just a few feet, maybe 10, 20 feet, off to the side where the forest begins, and they go towards a tree.
As they're doing that, I look towards Dobbin.
Yeah.
I see many similarities between my grandson and your friend.
You can see her eyes under the mask look at you and then break contact as she looks at the fire. And she nods a few slow nods, acknowledging what you said.
My, you're quite one. Can you not speak?
As you say that, you see Dobbin puts a hand to her mask and remove it. She sets it on her side. The transformation is striking, and beneath the dark, polished exterior of her masked persona lies a woman with eerie calm and sharp features. Her fiery red hair, once hidden beneath the mask, is tightly tied back, almost fully obscured by her hood. As you've seen already, her eyes are the most unnerving part of her, piercing green and direct, with an intensity that feels like that she can see straight through to your soul. They gleam with the knowledge of countless secrets and battles fought in silence. A subtle scar runs along her cheek, adding to her already mysterious persona. Her skin is pale, the kind of complexion that suggests someone who prefers the shadow of night over the harsh glare of day. As she removed her mask, there was no sudden grand gesture or dramatic reveal. It's as though she's simply letting you see her as she truly is. No pretense, just pure, unspoken power. Yet there's also an air of vulnerability to her. For a moment, her eyes soften as she stares at the fire, seemingly carrying an unspoken burden. And we're gonna shift momentarily to a few feet across to the campfire, where Wilbur is with Bogging, as Bogging strikes at a tree almost cutting it in half.
There, Egbert. That's how you strike. With passion, with power, with certainty. Have a go.
Roll a attack on the tree for Wilbur.
Egbert's rolling high today. That's a 16 plus 6, so 22.
Nice. Wilbur strikes a tree next to the one that Boggin just hit, and it matches his cut exactly, almost toppling the tree and cutting it in half.
Brilliant.
Thank you. You're a great teacher.
Yes, indeed. Now onto the rocks.
And they shift slightly. They go up to a boulder. Boggin goes to strike it. The blade of the longsword that Boggin is holding smashes the boulder and cracks it.
With true resolve, you can cut through anything. Try the boulder.
Roll again.
Total of 14.
Nice. So again, Wilbur tries to match Boggin's stance and follow his lead. As he follows through with the sword, it's another boulder next to the one Boggin just cracked, and similarly cracks it.
Brilliant. You catch on quickly, young man. And now, for our last and possibly hardest part of the trial.
He walks up to a little growth of flowers. He steps over them and slashes at them. He misjudges the strike, and the blade impales on the soil. They don't miss the flowers, but he doesn't cut it, which is what Wilbur thinks he was trying to do.
Oh, this is what you must not do. Make sure to follow through with your strike. Even the smallest of foes have a weakness. Try it yourself. You want to try and cut the flower in half.
Do I roll for attack?
Yeah, roll for attack, see if you hit the flower.
It's a total of 18.
Oof. Wilbur steps back, looks at Boggins and nods. With true resolve, he lifts the longsword above his shoulders and swipes down in quick fashion, expertly cutting the flower in half.
Oh my, you have indeed passed the trial of the Eternal Blade. Congratulations. I was not able to do so.
Wilbur feels that, although this seems ridiculous...
Does he feel it feels ridiculous?
Not really, that's what I'm getting at. If he should feel it's ridiculous, or you at least, as you stare from your campfire, from time to time glance over your shoulder, making sure that Wilbur's okay. See that it's ridiculous. Wilbur feels as though he's learning something. There is meaning to this madness. There is a technique being taught here, although it doesn't look it. And Wilbur, as a wielder of the same weapon as Boggin, has now learned weapon mastery.
Ooh, what's that?
So in the new player's handbook, each weapon has a mastery property, which is usable only by a character with a feature. So now Wilbur has learned that feature. For a long sword, the mastery feature is called Sap. What it does is when you hit the creature with this weapon, or in this case, Wilbur hits with a weapon, the creature has disadvantage on its next attack roll before the start of Wilbur's next turn. As a player, I think you can choose 3 weapons. As Wilbur is a sidekick, I've limited it to 1, but you can change the weapon after a long rest. So now you have mastery for the longsword, but let's say after a long rest you wanted to change it to a longbow or whatever Wilbur may have in the future, you can change it to that. But you can only have 1 weapon mastered at each time. Perhaps further along as you level and Wilbur levels, you will get more.
Sounds awesome.
So as you're looking at Wilbur jumping in glee, and Boggins looking at him almost like a proud father, your attention turns to Dobbin as she unconsciously lets out a deep sigh.
What troubles you, my dear? I've been around the block enough to see when something is troubling one's mind.
She's looking at Boggins, and without looking at you, she says, I love my father. He's taught me all I know, but I worry for him. He was not like this. Not always. I wonder if he'll ever get better. And now she looks back at you.
Oh, I see. Is your father?
Yes.
I think I understand what you mean, but what do you mean better? Well, what triggered this erratic behavior, if I can call it that?
Well, we are not warriors of divine supremacy or...
Well, I kind of figured that out.
We were a mighty band of heroes.
Heroes, you say?
Yes, there were 5 of us. My brother, me, my father, and 2 others. 2 friends. His name is not Boggins, and I am not Dobbin. He chose those names. His name is Sir Galvanos, and I am Ariella.
What happened to your other companions?
Unfortunately, we were once questing in search of a fabled treasure at the Troll Claw. It's further south from here, quite a ways away.
Is that a location that's marked on the map that I have from...
Yes, it would be. It's actually not too far from Baldur's Gate.
Oh wow, so yeah, quite a bit south then.
Yeah. We actually got in trouble there with the trolls of the place. My brother and our 2 friends died. Only my father and I made it out barely alive. After we recovered, it was never the same. My father made up this persona. And this is the life we've been living ever since. Silly trial after silly trial. I've tried everything.
Perhaps he is stricken with grief. The loss of his son.
I imagine so. I think sometimes I catch a fleeting look in his eyes, and I can see that my father, the man he used to be, is still there. He was a great leader, a great teacher.
Have you tried taking him to a holy man or using a potion? Magic?
All that I've been able to afford and all that I've been recommended, but I think it's a case of being struck by grief, as you well mentioned.
I know a thing or 2 about grief. You don't get to the ripe old age of 120 without losing 1 or 2 friends or family.
Why, you don't look a day older than 110.
Oh, you're too kind, my dear.
Listen, I'm sorry for holding the dagger to your throat. I know my father, he means no harm to anyone, but he's a bit rash and sometimes doesn't think straight.
No need to apologize. I did have magic running from my fingertips at that moment.
Yes, I was afraid that perhaps you would attack him. How about that book? Can I read it now? I'm quite intrigued.
No. I must insist you do not read it. It's dangerous. It was an insurance, just in case you were trying to harm me or my grandson.
About your grandson, I think. He reminds him of my brother. That's why he seems to have taken a liking. The favorite sport was wrestling.
I mean, if your father wants a quest and is taking a liking to my grandson, perhaps you'd consider journeying south with us. In fact, I am heading near the Troll Claws myself. I'm traveling to Baldur's Gate.
Oof, that's quite a journey you have.
Indeed.
But I'm afraid we must decline.
Perhaps we could even avenge your brother and your friends.
I would very much like that, but my father will not travel south. We have been in the same woods for years now. Moving, but never south.
Did you say you had tried a potion on him or not? Or that you couldn't afford one?
I tried everything. Everything that I know of. It's not a curse. It's not a illness. As you said, as far as I can tell, he's been stricken by grief. And I fear nothing will change him. Short of having our old party back.
Do you think he would take kindly? I had a chat with him, now that I know his name. I lost my sister in tragic circumstances. Created this magic to rage wild within me. And much like him, I traveled the wilderness for many years, never really settling, till a dear old friend of mine took me in and helped me. Perhaps that's what he needs. Somebody who has lived through grief, the loss of family, in a tragic manner.
Oh, I would very much appreciate if you do talk to him. I mean, I'm so ever sorry for your loss.
It was
But
100 years ago now, but it doesn't get much easier with time.
I imagine. But someone with your experience, perhaps someone coming from the same background, perhaps it would help him. It will go some way to heal the wound.
Could I ask what your brother's name was?
Yes, his name was Theodric.
Let me speak with him. I can't promise anything, but perhaps an old man to an old man.
Thank you, I very much appreciate it. Anything, even if you soften his anguish a bit, will help. As you finish that conversation, you see Sir Boggins, or as you now know his real name, Galvanos, come towards you. Old man! This young boy here you have, a fine warrior in the making. I never get it wrong.
I'm glad you see that in him.
Grumpy, I've learned a new technique.
Well done, Egbert.
Thank you.
Boggins,
Yes, old man.
I have a mysterious new trial for you.
Really?
Oh,
Oh, I'm always up for them.
quite an exciting one.
Tell me.
It is the trial of acceptance.
Acceptance, you say?
Oh, yes.
Oh, what does this trial entail?
It entails...
As you're saying that, you see Ariella or Dobbing hold Wilbur's or Egbert's, this is a mess, hand and guide him away, seemingly showing him some night owl or something. Night has started to fall by now.
It entails a trial of the heart.
Oh, the heart, you say? Well,
None of the mind.
of the mind. Seems intriguing. I'm sure I can complete this one. Tell me more. Did you overcome this trial yourself?
That I did. It's by no means an easy feat, though.
Really?
Come, let's take a walk. Walking is good for the mind.
Indeed.
I started walking slowly away from the fire, beckoning Boggins to follow me.
He follows you with a spring on his step. Lead the way, old man. I look forward to your trial. And that's where we're gonna end it.
What is this trial going to be?
I don't know. I'm the DM, but you're gonna surprise me next week.
How the turntables have turned.
Indeed. Indubitably. Well, that's all we have for this week. I hope you enjoyed this episode.
I have. It's been quite a surreal encounter, but one I've thoroughly enjoyed. Looking forward to seeing what comes next.
Well, just for the listeners, this is not part of the encounters you will find on D&D Beyond for the Road to Baldur's Gate short campaign thing. This is something I've added, so in case you're following along and maybe you want to try the Road to Baldur's Gate, just know that this isn't part of it. But yeah, thank you for listening. That's all we have for this week. If you want to know more, you're going to have to tune in next week.
If you can't wait a whole week, make sure you visit our website, www.i2td.com. Follow the links there to our website, our podcast, and of course our Discord server. Once you're there, why not click on that little coffee cup and follow the link there to our Buy Me a Coffee page, where you can make a one-off donation or you can sign up to our tier and support the podcast regularly. Each of those donations essentially buys us a potion in-game, so it's an opportunity for you to be a part of the stories we tell and shape the adventures we play.
If you cannot donate or wish not to, worry not, you can still share with your friends, like our content, maybe leave a review in your podcast player of choice. Just generally spread the word of i2td.com or i2td, and yeah, we're very much appreciative of it. With all that said, it's time for the end of the episode club,
The last one standing.
where we give you a password. You use said password perhaps in Discord, on X, wherever you can find us. And that's a fun way for us to know that you made it to the very, very, very end of the episode. So, do you have a password for us this week, Nick?
Yes, I do have a password for today.
Let's hear it.
It's born, but you have to write it as a bore and then an N, so
Okay.
born again, because Wilbur has been born again with a new power.
All right, and a new name. Egbert, well, that was last episode.
Well, he
Oh, yeah.
has got a new name. He's got 3 names now. He's got Wilbur, he has Egbert, and he has Wilbur.
Wilbur, born again. So use it in a comment, and you prove to us that you are the last one standing. The true El Quillo Mas Prada. We haven't said that for a while.
Yes, the Quillo mas Vrada.
Anyway,
El Vrada mas Quillo.
exactly. Thanks for tuning in, and we hope to catch you next time as we delve
Into the dungeon.